Hello, hello. We are going to do chapter 3, the next section. If you're following along, we are on page 43 right now. So let's get started. This is chapter 3. Although she could easily afford someone to cook and clean for her, Mom absolutely refused to have someone to do this. Why would I want someone to clean my home when I could get it clean? She said to me. My father's salary is an insurance executive, have afforded the best of everything in the house and has kept Mom comfortable since his death. I often wondered if she insisted on doing her own chores because it kept her busy and it kept her from missing my father so much. The girls buzzed around the tree while the dinner cooked, and my mom handed out popcorn screens or ornaments or tinsel. Everyone scattered their treasures on the tall, dark spruce. Well, really? Keep it on the mouse pad. Bing Cosby, Nate King Cole, and Ella Fitzgerald entertained. When the last of the tinsel was hung, Kate was set the table for dinner, and Mom carried in the platter of pot roast, greened by potatoes, carrots, and rings of onions. A steamy bowl of green beans was set out, along with gravy, broccoli salad, fresh rolls, and iced tea. I couldn't remember why, but my mother had always served pot roast on the tree decorating day, probably for no better reason than that it had been on sale at Dally's 25 years ago. Not much to base a family tradition on, if you thought about it. We made small talk around the table, most of us focusing on the girls and school and dance classes. Hannah proudly told her grandmother that she was understudy to Clara in the Nutcracker. I promised that next year that she'd get the starring role. Kate said we'd just be proud of her if she didn't get the lead. Mom played along with us, pretending that everything was okay, despite the fact that I felt like a fraud inside. I was pleased I hadn't spoiled my mother's holiday traditions. As Lily swallowed her last bite of German chocolate cake, Katie stood and began to clear the table. Katie, I'll get those, Mom insisted. No, Mom, let me wash up. No, not today. Take the girls into the living room and enjoy the tree. Play that game they've been begging us to play with them all day. Robert will help me. Kate slipped away into the dining room table, thankful, no doubt, that she wouldn't be cornered in the same room with me, and ushered Hannah and Lily into the living room. I stacked the dirty dishes and carried them into the kitchen. Mom began to scrape what was left in places into the garbage disposal as I continued to bring in bowls and dishes from the table. Then she asked me point blank, "What's going on with you and Kate?" I looked at her shocked, stunned even. Going on? I stammered, tried to act nonchalant. Nothing's going on. Robert, how old do I look? She asked, loading the dishwasher. Is this where I say you don't look a day over 40? 45? How old do I look, Robert? She asked impatiently. Mother, what is the point of the question? Because I know how old you are. You're 68. And in 68 years, don't you think I've picked up a little discouragement, a smudge of perception? You're in the middle of an argument, I said. You remember what theirs are. You and Dad had them. Every couple had them. I've seen you two argue before, she said, turning on the garbage disposal. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Mom. I answered sarcastically. Sit down, Robert. I'm helping you clean up. I don't want you to help. I want you to sit. I sat at the kitchen table with my mother as my mother put a pot. Thank you. As a pot, as I put a pot of coffee. I sat at the kitchen table as my mother put a pot of coffee. Put on a pot of coffee. She continued to load the dishwasher as she confronted me. I know Kate. She's been in the family for a long time. I know when there's something more than an argument going on between you. Thank you. Oh, I just do that. Hey, Christmas colors. For a long time. I know there's something more than this argument going on between you. I switched a Christmas card around the table as I pondered how to tell her it wasn't going to be easy. She loved Kate as like a daughter, and I knew my mother would naturally take my side in the matter. She was too honest for that. I had to tell you the truth and be done with it. The marriage is over, Mom, I said bluntly, staring at the Christmas tree. Why? She questioned, dumping leftover broccoli salad into Petri dish. Why? I didn't know why. I'm not sure. You're not sure of what? I knew my mother was going to make this easy. Wasn't going to make this easy. I'm not sure why the marriage is over. Well, you're in it, so surely you must have some idea as to why it's over, she said, stacking Petri dishes full of leftover food into the refrigerator. Mom, I've done everything I can, I stumbled. I've worked hard, I've provided a good living, a great home, I've given Kate and the girls everything they could ever want. But it's never good enough. I paused, waiting for my mother to interject, but her back reminded to me as she claimed, over the last couple of years, we've just kind of grown apart. I sat and waited for her to respond. She pulled out a soft scrubbing cleaner from beneath the sink. Over the last couple of years, we're just kind of grown up. Oh, I already read that. She pulled off a soft scrubbing cleaner from beneath the sink and rubbed diligently as it stubborn stain on the countertop. She held her tongue and simply listened. I shifted uncomfortably inside. I almost wish she would have just let me have it rather than leaving me hanging. We just had different interests, I continued awkwardly. I guess that when we first got married, we both thought we were on the same page, so to speak. We wanted the same thing, shared a lot of the same goals, but somehow over the years that all shifted. I don't know how. Same as it does for lots of marriages, I guess. She reached into the cabinet for two coffee cups and poured a cup, sitting in front of me. She quietly poured herself a cup and sat across from me, staring into my eyes. She always told me I looked so much like my father. Around the eyes. I'm sure she wondered why. I wasn't acting like him. If you had to pinpoint what was the number one problem of the marriages, would you be able to do that? She asked. I thought for a moment. This really wasn't the conversation I wanted to be having right now. You don't know what the number one problem is? She pressed. Because I do. I looked up at her. That was exactly the conversation I wanted to avoid. My mother was never one to beat around the bush. I couldn't even bear to recall the times in my youth that I heard. Do you know what your problem is? And she would continue to lay bare everything before me. In a way, I always knew that if I approached her with any problem, she would be honest and open with me. It was the only approach she knew. Thank you. Only approach she knew. Where am I? That your marriage isn't working because you're too selfish to live with, she stated in a matter of fact. Thanks for the cup of Christmas cheer, Mother, I said, toasting her with my coffee. You've grown apart. Son, I get so sick of hearing floundering couples say that grown apart. I always want to say, well, ding back, what have you done? What have you done to try to stay together? We tried everything, Mom. And what is everything? You could come home at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. You work on weekends. What exactly have you done to keep the marriage together? It was funny. Well, it was funny. For as long as I had been loyal, no judge or opposing attorney had ever been able to fluster me the way my mother could. I shook my head, watching the dark liquid swell and swash up to the size of the cup in my hand. What, Robert? What have you personally contributed to the marriage to hold it together? I don't know, Mom. How about I provide Kate with everything she could ever want? You've never given her yourself. You've given her things, she interrupted. Never yourself. That's a huge difference. You tried to finance your happiness, and that doesn't work. Kate never wanted to live in a huge house, or, Mom, you've always lived in a huge house, and you're happy, because your father made you happy, she said, with string. I've lived in a shoebox with him. It had nothing to do with the house. Katie never asked you for a new BMW, or for a big house, or for expensive clothes, because you want things that she wanted. She's never had to ask for them, because I gave them to her before she asked. I asked tremulously. Exactly, she agreed, because those were all things. You wanted her to have. Giving Kate things was so much easier for you than ever giving 1 minute of yourself. Piling stuff in front of her and the kids was a great way to block them from you. Women don't want stuff, Robert. They want your attention. Kids don't want things. They want to play with so many toys at one time. What they want is their daddy to pay attention to them and to hold them and laugh with them. That's what everybody has ever wanted from the beginning of time. I looked around the kitchen, hoping my mother would finish soon. You said you have different interests now. How would you even know what Kate's interests or dreams are? Tell me, what are her dreams? I don't know, I said. The usual thing, to have a healthy family and see the girls finish school, and there's a hopes, my mother said. Everyone has them. I'm talking about dreams. What are they? What are Kate's dreams? She waited. I didn't answer because I couldn't. Whatever they were Kate's dreams, her business. She was free to pursue them, just as I was free to pursue mine. You don't know, do you? You're never there long enough to ask her. Maybe it's your interest that have changed, she said slowly. Maybe other women are a little more interesting these days. I rolled my eyes and frowned. There is no other woman, Mother. There never has been. Oh! No. Pick them up. You can put them on. Pick them up. Put them in the thing. Put them in the thing. The paper clip. Yeah. Put them out. What are you giving? Okay. There you go. Nice. Okay, sorry about that. Why do women always assume there's another woman? Maybe because a wife figures that you're not seeking attention from her. Then you must naturally be looking for somewhere else. This was really an area I did not want to talk about with my mother. Mom, believe me on this. There has never been another woman. Never. Oh, how I wish she would release me from the conversation. Even if I wanted to, which I don't. I'm too busy to even think about taking on another woman in my